It's an epic day here in California. I am one of the happiest people in the world in many ways. I left the state of Virginia almost the way Elie Wiesel wrote The Night. And I'm compelled to tell my story. There's no particular monies in it. Just like Elie Wiesel wrote The Night about the day that Germany was executing Jews, and they executed 6 million Jews in Europe. And at that time, there were only 1 million Jews that remained. That's a pretty sorrowful event. And I don't think it's a good idea to have euthanasia. And I don't think it's a good idea to think Satan is much. So I will say that Virginia has an internal order that is really modern hell. If you don't accept Satan in Virginia, you could be in full psychiatry for the rest of your life, and there is no further witness than God himself and an undeveloped personality. If you were to believe, and I mean believe in the way that's reasonable, no believer will ever go to Virginia. That's just fact. Nobody's going to be that stupid. I mean, you're not going to send a mission into hell to save it, are you? No. Now, if you were to believe, Virginia will kill you at a young age so they can have their particular so-called, quote-unquote, Virginia democracy. They're free in hell. That's not really freedom, is it? But if you were to believe and you had God's presence, he will lift you. And he will lift you in a way that Virginia will never be able to do anything about it. So 21 years, in the year 2001, I just finished a party at Lucy B. Robertson's home after the Montpelier races. And the party itself was so rude that I said, there's just no way I can handle what has happened to the people I knew. They were just good for hell, and they were adults. So about 25 days later, I was in California. And then under rules of observation, I recognized, gee whiz, I am so lucky. Because for what it would be for me, nobody would have ever known who I was. Now, I saw something on Facebook a year and a half ago, and it really touched me. It was a young child. The young child was at St. Jude's Hospital. You see my semi-bald head, but the child is about 8 years old, and he has Band-Aids wrapped around his head. Obviously, there's been that kind of stuff. And the doctors have pretty much said, we've done just about everything. You're lived longer than expected, but... So what would you want? What is your wish if you could have it? Of course, it's like, what would you like the power to do? And the child would say, if I have to ask, how is it power? You know what I mean? So he says, in a very thoughtful way, said, I'd like to be famous, and I'd like to go to heaven. I still hear that, right? So as a child, a lot of people are very good about what could be heaven. And each year you live, there's people that really interfere with that. And there's young people that once really thought there was a heaven, and they just were surrounded that it would never happen, and their lives are ruined. Those are what you call Virginians. They'll never know the difference. And there's not probably going to be a textbook, but Virginia is not the place that they claim it is. And no matter how much money a person has, it will not get you out of hell. So what's Virginia on the tax base? What's Virginia for employment? What's Virginia in everything? Because no matter what Virginia claims to be, if you were a child, if you were in bathroom training, they say, I'm going to take a number 1, which is urination. And the other is number 2, which is defecation. That's what they would train you in kindergarten. So Virginia itself claims to be number 1 in everything in terms of ranking. No matter what the rank is, Virginia is number 2. Yeah, really cute, right? But that's what it is. And I agree with Winston Churchill. The most noble American that ever was Robert E. Lee. He's a very good person. Virginia isn't.